Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 451 of the Drunk-Nerds podcast. I am your host for this episode, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables, and I am joined from the beast that lives in Iowa, Ginger Boy 507 himself, Tyler Courtney. Tyler, how are you doing this fine day?
I am doing fucking fan-goddamn-tastic, Gables. It is a Hawkeye State once again going on. 6 straight wins. Iowa State has not beat Iowa for since 2014. Doing really good on that. So we have I have the Hawkeye gear, which is totally funny because Gables and I did not plan this. Him wear his Golden State gear. We literally turned on Skype, turned the cameras on, and immediately started laughing at each other because we're just both wearing our gear. We're both wearing. We never wear hats so much. We don't usually wear gear. Got the shirt going. I got the long sleeve going though. Not the best choice. It is still 100 degrees out today.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, I know. It was like 70 something earlier this week. I know it's everybody's favorite podcast topic, the weather, but that's what it is. But no, I'm doing pretty good. You know, it was nice having a short week this week. Worked a shit ton of hours still. It's one less day I had to work. I kind of think we should just mandate the fact that every Monday should just be a paid day off, and then we just work. Shit. I'll gladly work my same amount of hours that I normally work Tuesday through Friday, as long as I get that extra day off, which would be fucking fantastic. But no, Gables, it's doing all right. Saturday night, as Sir Elton John once said, it's a good night to fight. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Let me tell you though, I've been enjoying my vacation time off this past week. It definitely was an interesting idea to go through some of my games that I've had on my PS5 and stuff to give them a try. To give you guys a little bit of forewarning and stuff, I have not played like one game consistently this past week and stuff. I just played like a bunch of little stuff here and there. I know I've played like a little bit of like Savage Halloween. That game continued on, but more or less it's because I wanted to play through stage 1 and stage 2 with all the characters. So I've been progressively just doing little bits and a little bit of that. But in regards to other stuff, I've been grinding on like a catalyst and stuff for the latest season. Latest season of Destiny 2, this weapon is a linear fusion rifle, an exotic one by the name of the Lorenz drive. And currently, I am around less than 20 completed, 20 points away from completing the catalyst of this damn thing. And let me tell you, it's taken me like a solid week or two to try to get this thing done. So I'm gonna have that done fairly soon. Still got about 57 days left in the season, or 7 until the end of this year. It's crazy. But other than that, though, man, I really haven't been playing too much. I did give Madden 22 trial a little bit of a go and stuff. I did like a bit of the gameplay in and of itself. I know that there have been a bunch of GIFs circulating in regards to a lot of the the errors, a lot of the glitches, all the other stuff, and it's there were some I did come across this trial and stuff, but the same thing, the core gameplay of Madden 22 itself, I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay for what it was. I mean, granted, I'm not going to probably invest too much inside of Madden 22 right now, only because there's so much stuff that's coming in along the pipeline and stuff for not only this month in September. I mean, hell, we had Tales of Arise released this past week, and that game is supposed to be one of the best RPGs of the year, and so I'm freaking excited about that, because I keep getting details from my friend that keeps messaging me back and forth at scenery and what he's looking at and stuff like that, and it just looks freaking crazy. But
Mother Gables,
yeah,
Gables, I've been telling you to play Haven for a goddamn year now, and you're not one goddamn people. There was literally a game pass. I wanted to take a picture of it. I meant to take a picture of it. It's gone now. But one of the monthly goal for Game Pass, one you can earn your points for on Game Pass, literally was play Haven. I just wanted to take a picture of that and send it to you. I'm like, they're telling you to play it. And
what's that?
You
want
to play
month or this month?
It was August. But it ended on the 5th.
I saw it. Dude.
I'm like, dude, it's an easy 200 points. Just of the fucking. I got enough points now. I can actually buy I think it's $5 in Xbox bucks, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm waiting the goals that they have for that stuff. So it's
yeah. I figured in 6 years I'll get enough to get a free month of Game Pass out of it.
So you know what, Tyler? It's I know that a bunch of all this other stuff in Madden 22 is going on and stuff, but I know you've been mostly playing Madden 22 this week and stuff. How would you say is your experience been like, in that game?
Are we doing what we've been playing right now,
Yeah,
or are we
pretty
just
much.
are we? Okay. Well, I played some Madden, which is great. It's always good. I enjoy it very much. I just finished my first season yesterday. I traded Aaron Rodgers for 2 first-round picks, and I
Okay.
now have Jordan Love as my starting quarterback. Yep. The salary cap is in the real life NFL for the Packers is completely fucked up, and like they're already $50 million over the cap for next year, and literally the only way to like re-sign any players uh, is to basically either sign Rodgers to an extension or get rid of him. So I just got rid of him in my Madden, and I'm like, well, it's like I want to keep Devontae Adams, who's the best receiver in football,
Hmm.
um, who's also on a contract. Whose contract runs out this year, so I traded him away. I traded away Rodgers, got 2 first round picks out of him. I got Jordan Love back there, which is fine. It's Madden. It's like in real life I wouldn't do this, but like in Madden I'm totally gonna do this because Jordan Love's a lot cheaper than Aaron Rodgers. So I traded him away. Got to keep Devontae Adams and actually sign some of my old players, which is great. But no, I'm doing pretty. I'm enjoying that very very much. Um, gonna keep playing. It's just been difficult to play games this week, but I did play one other game, Gables. I
Yeah.
played 2 other games. I'm gonna jump real fast. I played a game called Golf Club Wasteland.
Golf Club
Um,
Wasteland. Okay.
yeah, so I heard some interesting things about it on like other podcasts and just kind of like some little bit of a buzz about it on the Twitters, and it's like a so like those I can't remember like there's like those like free like golf games on like iPhone and shit that like just crazy like obstacles and shit like that you want to get through. So it's kind of like that in a way, but there's a unique kind of cool story around it where like I don't know how far in the future it is, but basically like Earth is like abandoned
Okay.
and like basically Earth is ruined. So like people went to Mars and they live on Mars now. But rich people go back to Earth to play golf is the game. And so what it is you are playing by yourself and like you're in a spacesuit. Oop, I forgot to turn my ringer. I'm sorry. One second, guys. Unprofessional of me. Um, oh, Braves lost. But anyways, so basically, the gist of the game is that you're just this guy going back to Earth, and while you're playing it, you actually like hear like this radio that tells you uh like you're listening to like kind of like when you go to a museum and like they do like people are reading like old like actual like letters
Uh-huh.
from like the times of like when you go like to a Civil War museum like people reenact those they read the letters and like you can like listen on headphones and shit about the stories and it's basically it's kind of interesting in that like I actually like think that's like really cool and like you see like things and like you can kind of like make out like where you're at in the background based off buildings or like just like you're playing golf, but you're playing in like a rundown city. Like you're playing golf through buildings, and you're just trying to hit a golf ball over a tank, and like it's very like they don't like keep track of score or anything like that. It's just you just listen to the radio. It's very chill in that, but like it's the goddamn golf gets the courses get fucking frustrating as shit. Where
Hmm.
like I am like super interested and it's really cool like hearing like people tell stories about like what happened like basically like how it was decided who got to go to Mars and who got left behind to die kind of shit. It's very interesting that I just got to the point though where like there was like one course where like I had to get across the course and then I had to start hitting the golf ball up and the mechanics are super basic. I had to start hitting up like there's like holes in the ceiling of
Okay.
this building. You got to hit it up like 3 or 4 floors, and then you got to hit it up and over into like the next area, and that's where the hole is. So I hit it, but it bounced off the wall and it bounced over the ceiling and went back outside the building. So then I had to like start all over again,
Oh
and I'm like,
no.
fuck that! I rage quit it. I'm out. Uh, I'm gonna go back to it, but I was just like in the moment. It took me like 5 minutes just to get to the point to start hitting up the building. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing it again. And you can skip course, you can skip levels and stuff. It's not a big, you can do that. It's just more about the experience of like hearing the stories. But like, I thought that part was kind of cool. I thought like the art design and like kind of like all that's kind of cool. I mean, it's not like I mean, it's not like the most outlandish thing in the world to think about. I mean, obviously not now, but like a couple hundred years from now. But played a little bit of that. The big thing though I played today is a game called Life is Strange True Colors.
Oh, okay.
Um, that just came out yesterday. I believe it's full price. I want to say. Yeah, it's $60. I'm sorry, I was just looking it up real fast. But it, like I said, just came out yesterday.
Hmm.
I just started playing it today though, and I'm fucking addicted, Gables. Again,
Really?
yeah. So to back it up real fast here, people that may not know, I am a huge fan of the Life is Strange games, specifically the first one, Before the Storm.
Right, right.
Um, Behind my PlayStation sign over there, the little green book you see behind it is my Arcadia Bay Life is Strange 1 art book.
Yes.
For people, so yeah, a huge fan of that. Um, I like I said, I've talked about a ton about how much I enjoy those games. Life is Strange 2 was I enjoyed it, but it was like the issue with that game was like it was legitimately like it's episodic. There's 5 episodes. In the episode, Life is Strange 1 and 2 had 5 episodes. Before the Storm was a prequel to 1, which was 3 episodes. But it was also that was made by a different. So Don't Nod made 1 and 2. Before the Storm was made by Deck Nine. Life is Strange 2 was like the main issue was it took like 16 months between the first episode releasing and the last episode releasing, so lost a lot of momentum. And the kind of the gist of the game is all of the games take place in the same universe, and there's very limited interaction between um, the games. So like Life is Strange 1 Before the Storm take place in Arcadia Bay, which I believe is up in I want to say Oregon or Washington State. So up there, I can't remember which one it
I
was.
think it's Washington.
It's probably Washington. They're all the
Yeah.
same to me. It's kind of like the
It's
Midwest.
like
They're
any
all
type of
the same.
strange like setting for a game they
Yeah.
stage in Washington State because of the whole Twin Peaks show being inside
Yeah.
that one thing. It's basically
Yeah.
originated from that.
Yeah. Pretty basically. Yeah. That's actually a really good. That's a really good point. So that takes place there, and then Life is Strange 2 takes place starts in Seattle, and it's like these two brothers. They accidentally one of the brothers finds out. So the main character. So in season 1 or episode, God damn it, so Life is Strange 1. Max finds out she has powers where she can like rewind time, but only like rewind it back so far.
Right.
And it's cool. You can like, and it's kind of like Telltale where you make decisions like, and you can rewind certain points. But it's like you're there when you discover the powers, and you're learning about these powers as you're going. Life is Strange shoots the same way where it starts off where the brother's dad is killed, and the little brother like has this like he has like telekinetic powers where like telekinetic where you can move shit with your
Yeah.
mind. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember what this, but like he ends up like doing all like this, and then like it basically like destroys like a a city block, and like that moment of rage. And so they're going across town because they're being accused of murder. Um, so they're trying to get to go over the Mexican border, and I didn't love the idea. I liked it I liked Life is Strange 1 being more grounded in a small town, and so Life is Strange True Colors. Oh, my point with the tie-in, I'm sorry, is in Life is Strange 2 you actually like go to Arcadia Bay for a couple scenes.
Hmm.
It's kind of cool. But then so Life is Strange True Colors, which is the third game, which is made by Deck Nine. Um, they the one of the characters from Life is Strange 1, Steph, who is a limited role in it. She's a side character in the game. She actually is in this game. Um, she's now kind of like one of the main figures in the game. So this one it's in Haven Springs. So the first time this is a fake town in Colorado. So the first time we've left the Northwest ever, kind of like the base of like these games, and so what's great about this is like so the cool thing was like Life is Strange 2 started off like in these games they do a really great job. I've talked about this Life is Strange 1 where like they did maybe the best job ever in a group of like making a collection of characters that like everybody's like they focus on actually like not really I shouldn't say focus on but everybody in the game like I like immediately have an attachment to whether you dislike them you like them like they make you care about all these characters in a different way really
Right.
fast. They do a really great job of like making you kind of understand the personalities of these characters. You understand like especially the character you play as like you play as Max in 1 I think I can't remember the son's the one that you play as both brothers. I can't remember their names though in the second one. But and then the third one you play as Alex, who she's like so there's like the older brother, and I'm thinking Alex is like 21, 22. She's at least drinking age, but she's like early 20s.
Okay.
And she has a brother that's a few years older, but they got split up in the like an orphanage, and you kind of like really like so they don't really explain a lot like in the story about like their background of like what happened to them. But the cool thing is like if you want to dive into that, you totally can. And I love doing that. And like every game, like you have a cell phone and you can go back and actually like read old text messages with these people that you'll never actually interact with in the main story. And you read these text messages. They have journals. You can read the journals, like figure out like, and like you learn so much about all these characters, these new characters thrown at you, really fast right away that you immediately grow an attachment to them. So in this game, like I said, Alex and her brother Gabe, I'm assuming no relation,
Yeah.
um, are like they haven't seen each other in 8 years. They lost contact, and basically the way it works is that so Alex finally gets out of like being like in fostering care, and her brother Gabe finds her, after years of looking for her, finds her, and he's old enough and like he's living in this town, Haven Springs, and she moves there, and they haven't, like I said, haven't seen each other in 8 years, and this is all like in the first trailer, so I'm not really spoiling anything. So they finally meet, you meet all these people in this town, and then he ends up dying
Wow.
in this game, and the whole game is like trying to basically like, at least I've beaten the first 2 episodes. There's 5 episodes, and the cool thing now is instead of being episodic and like it might be a month or 3 months between episodes,
Right.
all the episodes are out right away, but they
That's
still break
awesome.
it up. Yeah, and they still break it up episodically, so they run like a normal
Okay.
game, but all the episodes are out right now, which is incredible. Because my biggest complaint was we are over episodic games, waiting month or two for an episode is just frustrating. Kills the flow, kills the vibe. Yeah, it's like Netflix has changed the game on how the shit works. So the cool thing that I really like I said, they build these great characters, but like my big problem with like Life is Strange 2 was like they did a really good job of like you meet like the older brother, you meet like his friends, and you meet like his dad, and like immediately grow a huge attachment to these characters, and it's just like, and then like the next step, like at the end of that episode, like now they have to leave town, and when you get into like every episode you meet all these new characters, and they're like, oh cool, I like these characters, and you never see them again. And it's just a total like doing that over and over again. It's like and like I said, also being like taking 3-4 months between episodes just kind of killed the flow and the vibe. And like and you go back to play again, like what the fuck? Okay, what was I doing here? Okay, who were these people again? And he's like, he just totally lost that flow with them. And like with this, it helps. And like Life Strange 1, like it was, I think it was like 3 weeks, 4 weeks between episodes. So it was a nice episodic. It flowed really well, so it wasn't super long in between episodes. And Before the Storm, I think was the same. It was like every like 3 weeks or 4 weeks again. But what there's so many great things. So I'm sorry if I keep saying that and then I go off on a side tangent. I just got so many positive things to say about this game. But immediately within 10 minutes of interacting, like, so you play as Alex, the younger sister. I'm meeting Gabe. Within the first 10 minutes, I had just the interaction between these two, started laughing, outburst of laughing 3 times in the first 10 minutes. And I'm like, I don't laugh at games often. Like it's very, very rare for me to laugh at games. It's very rare for comedies to make laugh, honestly, sometimes. But Yeah, I just love like immediately like the way these characters, the voice acting is so fantastic. The way they everything just flows together so well. You meet all these like they throw so many new characters at you, really fast. Like you meet Charlotte, who is Gabe's girlfriend. They've been together for like 3 years. Charlotte has a son named Ethan, who is not Gabe is basically the stepdad of. They're not married, but that's he's essentially he's like he's like his actual father. Um, you meet Jed, who owns the black God, was it the Black Lantern, who owns the bar, and you Gabe lives above the bar, and you move in with him, and Jed is like he's this older guy, he's a retired miner, he was in the army, but he's like a super sweetheart guy. He's basically like a father figure to you guys, to Gabe and to Alex. You meet Steph, like I said, who was from the first game, and she actually is like the local DJ of the radio station, and she runs the record store. You meet Ryan, who is Gabe's best friend, who's also a park ranger, who's the son of Jed. Like I said, they throw so much at you, but immediately like I have connections with them. I understand like who these people are. I understand like how they all connect together. There's Riley, who was also a really close friend of Gabe's, and then like her their on again off again boyfriend Mac. Uh, And then there's like this. So like the kind of the weird mystery of this game is that like there's this. It's like you're in this like you're in this town Haven Springs that's in the mountains of Colorado, but basically it's a miner's town essentially where like Typhon is the name of like this mining company, and he dies because of like a planned explosion um, caused by the mining company. Like, or well, there's an explosion, but who did it? Who caused it? Why did it happen? Like it was a bunch of like I said, I've only beat the first two episodes. You're just like learning shit as you go. But man, it's I just they like I was there's a stretch there for a while where I was really burnt out on these kind of games, like these story based, like really story based heavy games, like Telltale games. Like I love those. Like I love when Telltale's great. It's you know it's the best. But or like when Life Strange is great, it's the best. Like I love those games. But like when they're not, they just kind of suck. But yeah, I just so far, like I said, I'm probably like 5 hours in or so. Give it like each episode's usually 2 to 3 hours. Just depends on what you want to do. And there, I'm sorry, I've been rambling a lot, Gables, while you walked away.
Right.
I keep, but you know me, I ramble. But what's really cool, what's different is like they totally did like it's a brand new engine, like
Yes.
with this game, so it looks fantastic.
Okay.
Runs like they actually, I think that they actually did like real like was it like motion capture in this game, which is incredible. Like so, like the facial animation, everything like that, it's like way better than the
So
original
yeah, it
games
just
were.
looks like the best that it's been, quintessentially,
Yeah,
right?
I mean it's not like top end like PS5 or like it's not like God of War 20 like Ragnarok here, or it's not fucking Halo Infinite looking. But I mean for like this art style and this kind of like they kind of go for more of that like that cartoony animated comic booky style, um, and it's like it's a thing Telltale should have done years ago and they just never did. But what's really cool is like before like they would just like okay we gotta go to the school and like in past games and they just loading screen cut to the school and like you'd always like they just like cut you to the next place where you gotta go. And this one you can actually like walk around the town and
Oh,
you can go interact and there's like a lot of optional things you can do in the game where like and I totally forgot the fucking whole point of what's special about Alex. I'm sorry, people. So Alex, her powers is that, and it sounded kind of lame when I first saw the trailer. I'm like, that's kind of weird. You go from time travel, sorta, to telekinetic powers, to she could see people's emotions based off the aura around them. Like I'm like she's a fucking mood ring or something. Uh, but it's actually like really cool and interesting in the way it works out. Where like I said, so she can like based off the color, right? Like so she can't just fully she doesn't just like just walk around the street and just see people's like emotions all the time. But if like what's interesting about it is like so Alex when they like if they feel emotion strong enough, she can see an aura around. So if they're angry, there's like a red aura around them. And if it's strong enough, she can feel it too. And like it makes her feel that same emotion. So like
right.
when someone's really angry, it makes her angry, and when or someone's really sad, like one of the journal entries you read about is like when in the foster care, um, and like I don't know, it's just like a minor spoil, but you can see it like right away when you read her journals. But it's like one of the girls like she was in the foster care with was really bad depression and was suicidal, and it made and like Alex like I love this person, I was really close friends with this person, but because she felt this way all the time, it made me feel that way. So they basically had a break. She had to break a relationship with this person because it made her suicidal. And then the girl they didn't flat out say it, but it sounds like she actually did end up committing suicide in the game.
Aw.
I mean, you don't see it. You read this in the journal. This is all read in the
Right,
journal.
right.
It's learning in the past, but it's like that. Like that's how deeply like she can feel the emotions of these people. But also when she feels these emotions, she can sort of in a way almost read the mind of what they're feeling to cause that emotion. So like when like someone like there's a point in the game where like someone's like really angry and like you can see the red aura and then she can understand why she like knows why they're angry and like she like kind of like figures out like in a weird like mind it's like a weird quasi mind read thing. But like I said, she feels that the emotions are strong enough she can feel it, and that's kind of how you go around trying to solve mysteries, trying to like have dialogue with people, like you make trying to make people feel better about certain things. Um, yeah, it's kind of interesting though in this one, like where the previous games with Max and the brothers was you were there with them when they discovered the ability, and you're learning as you go. With this one, it's different because she's had the powers this whole time, or not the whole time, but she's had it for years, and it's like it's caused a lot of issues with fostering and like foster like what like she goes someone adopts her and they give her back because they can't deal with her because of, like she her powers and all that, so she feels like she's cursed, and it's like it's the first time like where you like in a way where like it's a weird one because it's like obviously time travel, a lot of positives to that, but also can be some negatives to it. Telekinetic abilities, a lot of positives to that, also a lot of negatives. But feeling the emotions of somebody else and they're always bad, a lot of negatives to that. It doesn't sound great. So it's kind of interesting from that standpoint. Where like, okay, she knows she's powers, but like, but she's like trying to like now she can actually kind of like she's trying to use them to like help her like figure out what happened to her brother, also figure out what's going on in this town. But like I was saying, like you can actually like walk around the town. There's like side things you can do, interact with characters, and like you go around and interact with these characters, it can unlock new dialogue options or unlock wholly totally different options of what you can do or what you can't do. But yeah, like I went on a whole long ramble there. Didn't mean to. Meant to make it kind of quick, but I didn't. But that just shows that like I am, like I said, I'm only 2 episodes in. It could totally change on me. But I am so totally happy with this game. So
Good.
positive about it. Yeah, I'm really, really happy. Like I went in super concerned after Life is Strange 2 not really knocked on the park. And then like even Tell Me Why, which I know was a different studio, Don't Nod. Um, Last year that didn't click for me so much either. I played the first episode and I never went back and played episode 2 or 3. But so I was a little worried about like maybe I've grown out of these games, and or maybe they just Life is Strange 1 was like that one hit wonder. But so far I'm feeling really positive about this game. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. Gables. What about you?
All right. Well, like I said before, I did play a whole bunch of things. I think I already went through and stated some of
Oh
the
yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah.
to give a little bit of clarification for the listeners, both watching and like listening in and stuff, we do have rumors news for this week. But because we've had such a big amount of gaming news drop from the whole PlayStation Showcase, we will continue that on next week's show.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get into the meat of the potatoes. So how I was going to go through initiate this initial like stuff is I'm gonna go through and like just read through the whole showcase stuff, and then we'll give our like thoughts and opinions upon whatever we feel like we need to for a topic and stuff after we go through the initial list of what was shown and like revealed in regards to the whole like showcase. Okay, so to start things off, we had this vignette and stuff like that of like this whole chess match between like people and like
Yeah.
PlayStation, this and that. It was kind of weird, kind of jarring at first. That's basically kind of like what I felt about it. It was just one of those things to try to ease you in, like, oh, the power of PlayStation type of like mentality and this and that.
Yeah.
But we get into the meat and potatoes here. The first trailer they ended up showing is the remaster of Knights of the Old Republic. And from reading a little bit of news after the presentation was over, it has a console exclusive for about a year, but it will be on PC day and date when the game eventually does release on PS5. So the next one that was shown, it was an interesting core concept trailer, which kind of looks similar to that of Bayonetta, and that was Project Eve.
Mm.
After that, we did get a bit of a trailer in regards to like an update thing for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It was so interesting to see that core gameplay, and not just that gameplay, but the music that was playing during the gameplay. I'm not just sure if you've heard this music before, Tyler.
Mm.
This is from a group that my friend and I have listened to on occasion. It's called Baby Metal, and quintessentially, it's kind of like almost like a Japanese pop, like
Okay.
like pop musicians and stuff, but they sing heavy metal. And
Gotcha.
this is like a very popular band for around the world. My friend is like a big fan of their music. But anyway, I thought it was
This
kind of
explains a tweet I just saw. So
yes.
I avoided. I didn't get a chance to watch it until like 5 6 hours later. But I completely avoid spoilers. But I saw. I accidentally popped up Twitter like on my lunch break, and I was like, I want to wait till I got home so I can watch it at home. But I popped up Twitter for a second, and I saw a tweet that just simply said "baby metal," and
Yep.
this explains why I saw. I'm like, I'm like, I saw them. Oh wait, I can't be on here. I don't want to see what happened. But I just saw that, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I
But
wanted
yeah,
to learn more, but I didn't want to click on it.
one of their most popular songs played during the trailer of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which we learned would be coming out March 25th of 2022. Next, we got this. interesting trailer in regards to the next game for Spoken.
Mhm.
I thought the gameplay stuff, they looked pretty cool. Everything else is going into motion and stuff, but it got a tentative release of spring 2022. The next, and this is going to be a little bit out of order, so forgive me in that regards. So Ghostwire Tokyo. We saw more of that, plus the gameplay. We saw all sorts of various action going through, some bit of the cinematics, which looks pretty damn cool, in my honest opinion. Next up, we got, and get this, there was Naughty Dog stuff shown, but it was kind of the opposite of what I was thinking. I thought it was going to be The Last of Us Part 2 remaster, or not remaster, but a port of Last of Us Part 2. It
Mhm.
actually was Uncharted 4 and the Lost Legacy remaster, like kind of like a port remaster or whatever the hell for PS5 and PC, which will be
Yeah.
coming out next year.
Yeah, and the thing they did say about this later on was that it's coming to PS5 first and then PC shortly after.
Okay, so it's going to have like initial like window and stuff for PS5 owners are going to get that first before eventually coming onto PC. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Next, we got this trailer here by Marvel. Now, before then, we saw bits of Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff. That
Mhm.
trailer, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. The same old type of like stuff we have been seeing in regards to the whole cinematic stuff. There's still some funny banter back and forth, especially with the end of the trailer where you see like a rocket and stuff like that. He has a little bit of a fire and tinge of his like his his whiskers and
Yeah.
stuff. And Groot just goes through like. That was
Thank you.
pretty funny. But to re-emphasize and stuff, the game is coming out next month around the 26th. So yeah, that game, even though there has been some form of like I wouldn't say backlash, but a lot of like disinterest in regards to the game. I definitely am looking forward to seeing how well Guardians of the Galaxy does do in regards to like the whole things when it does release. But that's initially ties into the next thing. We didn't get one thing from Marvel. We got three. And so the second one, number two, showcase this trailer and stuff where it's like we hear this like sort of like bar music. Yeah, this old time like music playing, right? And all of a sudden we flash to a scene. It's a bar, and you see all these people are just strung out, like they've been laid out and stuff, right? And you see a dude come to,
They did.
and then you see a guy. And initially, when I saw that and I saw the hat, and I thought to myself, it's like, you know, that reminds me of old Logan. And it's like I just go through and I see them pan over and stuff, and here you see his large arms and stuff like that with his drink, and the guy grabbing behind him, and all of a sudden you just see the quick things of his claws going, and like, holy shit, it's Wolverine. And that lends up to a reveal of Insomniac making a Wolverine game.
Hmm.
That was the first legitimate holy shit moment that I literally had while watching that. But after that, we got something that you guessed right in your predictions of last week, which was the Alan Wake remake coming out October 5th, 2021. Quintessentially, yeah, the little reports and the leaks and stuff that happened like leading up to this showcase and stuff were in fact true. And yes, Alan Wake remake is coming out next month. Yeah,
Yep.
PS5, PS4, and I want to say PC and the Xbox consoles as well.
Yep. It's only $30.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I love that price for that game because it's like you get, I'm assuming you get the full game and the DLC content itself.
Yeah. Just everything.
The next thing that popped up right here was an update for Grand Theft Auto 5 coming out on PS5. It's going to be released March 4th of 2022. I
I think
found
that's the I think that's the online part that's March. And that's what I'm really confused about. So
yeah,
they originally said November 9th was
November
supposed to be
9th.
the release for GTA 5
Okay.
on the new consoles. But then they said March 4th, 2022. So I'm really confused. I'm like, is the online? So is the campaign coming in November, but then the online coming in March? Like I saw that a lot of people like, wait, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, there's definitely some form of
so,
miscommunication with that because I'm looking at the show notes and stuff like that. and it's not fairly consistent and stuff because that day is the same. It's pretty much the same for another game that was shown at the same showcase and stuff that has the same day. But yeah, as Tyler's looking that up and stuff, another game was shown a little bit, and that was like Vampire the Masquerade, like Blood Hunt and stuff. That's supposed to be having like I think it's coming
Yeah.
out in 2021.
They said 2021. It's really weird because like they announced it here for this year, but I'm like, it's fucking September. I'm like,
It's
you need to put
September.
a date on that.
You got to put a date on it. It's like if it's like I thought initially it was like a beta thing, you know, like okay, you're gonna get into the beta, blah blah blah, 2021, but they had no concrete date and it's supposed to be releasing this year. It doesn't make any sense to me. But unfortunately, we saw more highlights for Deathloop, and I said in in the notes again. I know
Yeah,
it's the last week before it comes out, but
it comes out
this
Tuesday.
yeah, it comes out Tuesday, and they've definitely done a good job of me being so disinterested and wanting to play the game.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's funny because like even people that are like really excited for this game, and the reviews drop on Monday for people by the way. Um, it's funny because like this has been going on. This isn't like new. This has been going on since last year. People were sick of this game last year. Like even people that were like excited to play this game were like, all right, we've seen it. It's fine. Like you definitely needed to like do another thing and remind people it's coming. I get that. Like I
Yes,
would expect you. I would be weird if you didn't. But it's like it was like a solid like 3 fucking minutes trailer. And what's really weird is like Kina, Bridge of Spirits comes out next Tuesday,
yes,
and then they didn't not a fucking peep. And
they put
that is
more
a
on
first.
Deathloop than Kenna on
Yeah,
that.
and Kenna is or Kina. I'm not sure Kina or Kenna, whatever.
Yeah,
Um, that game is a first party studio game.
that's
Deathloop is a
surprising. I'll
game that
agree.
you're paying Bethesda. I guess you got more invested in it, but it's like once a brand new IP that you own, Deathloop is a game that's gonna be on Game Pass next year, and
Dude,
that's owned by Bethesda,
I
which is owned by Xbox.
I don't understand why they didn't put any more like emphasis upon Kenna, like or Kina or whatsoever. That game is releasing fairly soon, like you were saying, and it's like that would have been a good idea to showcase a first party game inside of your showcase over say
Yeah,
another Deathloop trailer.
yeah. I mean, I think you should have had both, but
Yeah,
like
I agree.
just a quick like, hey, it's coming next, it's coming soon.
All right, so the next game was a new game that was by a studio here. I forget this name of the studio, unfortunately, but
It's called Kid Amnesia
Kid
is
Amnesia.
the name of the
Okay,
game, but
and
it's something to do with Epic Games and shit.
oh yes, yes, that whole like game. I basically wrote down in our show notes here is a game by Radiohead and Epic Games.
I don't think it's a game. I think it's just like an experience.
That's what it
I
sounds like to me because
I
I
have
no
I
idea what
thought it
this
was
was supposed to
I thought
be.
it was a control thing. I'm like, okay, are we like I'm like I thought like because it said Remedy Games, and I'm like, well, we've already got fucking Alan Wake. Like, what the fuck is this thing gonna be? Like, are they?
I
Cause
don't
I know
know.
like Remedy Games is like making like 6 games right now. So I'm like, okay, we know they're making Alan Wake 2. We know they're making a Control multiplayer game. We know Control 2 is happening. They're making a Crossfire X game, but that's Xbox exclusive. Like, okay, what the fuck is this? It looked like Control. I'm like, they're like, we're making this Radiohead Kid A Amnesia thing. It's a play off words of Kid A. Kid A Amnesia is basically what they're doing.
Okay.
I have no idea. I have no idea, Gables. I have no idea.
Well, we're pretty much in the same boat together. I mean, if we had one of our other friends, Josh, he'd probably tell us a little bit more about that. But still,
He
the
has no
big
idea
old
either. He asked me about it. I'm like, I don't
the
fucking know.
big. That's fun that even like big old fans of Radiohead don't even know what the hell's going on with the game with their band. Oh, but anyway, there was this colorful looking game that was revealed, right? And it was by the game is named, and I think I'm pronouncing this correctly. I think the T is silent in this one, like Sia or some of that sort.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Sia. And so basically, what this is like it looked like a sort of like open world sort of like game, right? On a tropical island, you control this girl, right? And so the trailer showed like this girl, her friend, and this and that, but it shows the main gameplay mechanic is you actually take control of certain animals and stuff. So it's like you take control, you can like a crab or a dog or a
Yeah,
bird, it's like I thought it was kind of cute towards the end of the trailer. It's like she's petting the crab and the crab's all like
it's it's essentially like the girl is Cappy.
okay. Oh
She
yeah,
could just
yeah.
she could just
Basically,
take control shit. Yeah, yeah. But I don't know.
I didn't even put two to two together. You're totally
That's
right. It does
immediately what I
include
thought was
Cappy.
like. I'm like, I mean, just take out the platforming, and you're the Cappy from Mario Odyssey.
Oh my god, yeah, it's like Cappy from Mario Odyssey, only this time it's like in another different game as a core mechanic. It's weird.
Yeah, I
But
don't know what this game is.
I I understand. I looked at the core things towards the end of that trailer and it's like, okay, now we're going from like this whimsical sort of island thing, and all of a sudden you have this like industrial sort of thing. It's like, okay, what type of a game is this supposed to be? It's like
It's
I
like a coming of age tale, um, but you're Cappy.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, really,
uh,
that's the best way to put it right there. It's like coming of
Cappy
age
hit
game
puberty.
with Mario Odyssey's sort of mechanics in some form.
Yeah, and
But
these games aren't wholly original. Like,
yeah,
these games come out like every like 3 months. It seems like on Steam.
that's a fair
This
point.
is just like this just has a bigger budget.
Okay. So getting into the later half or the final portion of this showcase and stuff, this is where everything started, the shit started hitting the fan. Now, before getting into the final things and stuff, we got a trailer for GT7, Gran Turismo 7. We saw some gameplay, we saw some bit of the customization options, which I gotta admit, I've never been really into like a heavy like driver simulator sort of games, but the core mechanics of what detail they went to lengths, and that's pretty much a serious staple in regards to the whole Gran Turismo series, from polyphony like digital and stuff, where you could do things in regards to customizing the looks of your cars, doing like all sorts of various like photographic options and stuff. And obviously, this game looks fantastic from a visual aspect of it. And I'm kind of honest with you. When the game does release, like around March 4th of next year and stuff, that's definitely something that I could potentially want to try, because it's like I'm starting to get back into some of the core driving games. I've been playing a little bit of Forza Horizon 3 back and forth and stuff. So it's like, okay, I'm kind of getting into that mood where I want to play like these type of racing games and stuff. But from what we initially saw inside this trailer and stuff, we saw more customization options, more details in regards to the locations and stuff. So that trailer pretty much did its due. But what was really interesting was the reveal trailer for the next game by Insomniac, which was releasing in 2023, Spider-Man 2. Now, when this trailer opened up initially and stuff, it was a little tease, right? I thought at first it was Infamous, because when you
Yeah,
see the light pole, you see electricity flowing through the damn thing. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, is this Infamous? Is this Cole McGrath over there?
yeah,
But all of a sudden you hear this two voices back and forth. And so the first one, he had sort of like a grizzled sort of like speaking like in a sort of an accent and stuff. And listening back to the trailer itself, it's an older guy and stuff like that that wants to go for the thrill and stuff. And he said, and no other types of no other types of like prey that he's come across have been worthy. And so it's like he's asking the other thing is like, it's like, are you worthy, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. And what answers back is like this muddled sort of like response, and I immediately catch which voice was replying to him, and it shows the reveal of Venom.
hmm
And here's the thing: it's like you have Peter Parker and Miles Morales. You know, they're doing all this fighting these thugs and this and that, and all of a sudden you see the reveal. They're both staring into the alleyway, and the whole presentation of that, and then it just pauses in a dark screen in like an alley and stuff, and the whole presentation of like when Venom goes through and reveals himself as his voice is going through, that was fucking crazy. That was incredible in terms of that stuff. The last thing in the showcase was something that you and I initially were talking about, and I kind of talked to you about after the show last week was over. It's like, Tyler's like, what if they show God of War Ragnarok gameplay? And you thought to yourself, and you told me, it's like, man, if you do that, it's...
it's all I ever wanted. All I've wanted this year was gameplay.
And you know what? Despite not getting a concrete date or like a year that we may go forth and get the game, from what was initially shown in this Ragnarok trailer, it was definitely some bit of spoilers in regards to the first game, definitely some bit of like all sorts of various stuff. And they've later, no, Sony Santa Monica has confirmed this is the last game inside of the Norse mythology setting for God of War. Meaning
Hurts.
they could
Hurts.
potentially go on and create more God of War games, but just not in this setting. So I found that was fairly fascinating in that regards. So the whole initial tone is inside the Norse mythology, the whole event of Ragnarok, which Ragnarok was caused by Loki, quintessentially in one form. Loki, for what if you people listening in or like are watching right now don't know who Loki is, if you've never like watched any of the Marvel films and stuff, inside of Norse mythology, Loki is a trickster. He goes through, he has this sort of like a silver tongue sort of aspect of it where it's like he will do all sorts of various things to cause shit, quintessentially. I'm trying to paraphrase this stuff. He'll get into the good graces of like the Norse gods and stuff, but yet like Odin and this and that, but he'll do things to cause like destruction. If he doesn't like a god or doesn't like something like that, he'll go through and deceive. He's a deceiver, a trickster in that regards. And then from what it sounds like through what like Atreus, the son, Atreus. Okay, thank you. Forgive me, I haven't played that game too much, but Atreus, he mentions Loki by name in regards to the trailer, so it gives potential more plot points in regards to the whole like Ragnarok stuff. You see more gameplay stuff. You see dog sledding in regards to this trailer. You see like all sorts of various recurring characters coming back in one form or another. You see one dude that was prisoned and stuff that was probably captive in the last game. He stands up, we freed him and stuff, and he is freaking taller than Kratos, and it looks like fucking like more menacing. But man, now that showcase is over, let's go into a little bit of stuff. Tyler, what was your takes on God of War Ragnarok?
Do you want my takes on God of War? You want my takes on everything here? How do you want me to do this?
Okay, go ahead and give your takes on everything.
Okay, I'll run through it fairly quickly here. Go to a remaster, something we knew about Aspire. I think is how you say it's in the studio.
Yes.
We knew there. It was been rumored for a while. Jason Schreier essentially said it a long time ago, probably 6 months ago or so, that they're making a KOTOR game of some sort. The rumor was it was Knights of the High Republic.
Right.
But come find out they're making a full remake. I think something's interesting about this is that the fact that this isn't confirmed, but this is kind of what sounds like what happened was Xbox offered more money for the 1 year exclusivity for this KOTOR remake, but they wanted the game to come day one to Game Pass, which makes sense for their business, makes sense.
Right.
But the way that I'm assuming Disney, Lucasfilms, and everybody looked at this was like PlayStation offered less, but they could charge $70 for this on PlayStation, and then wait a year and then charge for it again on Xbox. Totally makes sense. This is what happened.
I could see where they're coming from.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
If in that boat, we'd all do the same goddamn thing. You're getting a fat check from PlayStation, and then you're gonna be able to double dip. So yeah, that's kind of interesting what happened with that. I don't know. I know the spoiler of KOTOR, which sucks. But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. I'm curious how you were mentioning, I believe before the show, about how they're gonna make some changes to the story a little bit.
Okay, I can give you a little bit of like foray into it. Yeah, there were going to be some bit of changes in regards. So basically, what Tyler's referring to was an article I was reading right here by comicbook.com comicbook.com. And let's see. Yes. So basically, it's upon like one of the writers or one of the main writers and stuff of this this Knight of the Republic remake right here. So this comes by way of not like comics book, but like bounding into comics, right? From this article right here. It's basically a former The Mary Sue writer and social justice activist Sam Maggs is working on Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And so basically what I was talking with Tyler about in terms of changes and stuff, this is paraphrasing from like an article right here. It's like, this is a complete remake of this beloved Star Wars story for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. We are rebuilding from the ground up while maintaining that integrity of story from the original. But at the same time, it goes on to state like there's more like sort of like visual improvements, sort of things, but there was a couple of quotes from this interview that was kind of interesting in this. It's like we want this game to be just as beloved as it was before. Some of my favorite meetings to have this in my week, this is from like Sam Mags and stuff like that, right now, are to get into the nitty gritty with like Asper and talk about why did we make that choice in the original game and how does that play today? How do we expand that choice and make it even more meaningful and impactful? We think about literally every word of dialogue and other choices down to the clothes that the character is wear. So basically, the main thing to take away though from this last paragraph that I'm paraphrasing is like we trust Aspire, we trust the team that's working on it, and we're doing the work ourselves to dig in, deconstruct, and reconnect to why people love it because we don't want to mess with that. We love it too, and so we want to do it right. We hope everybody feels we've done this game a service when it's all said and done. So basically, basically, you have Sam Meggs that comes in that is a social activist and stuff from a previous website, the Mary Sue, which is kind of like a highly sort of like social like activist sort of like web like news site in that regards. I'm keeping an open mind in regards to the Knights of the Old Republic. When I see like certain aspects of say like deconstruct and try to rebuild and stuff, certain aspects of this classic game and stuff, there are some things I'm keeping in mind. One, yeah, their core plan is to try to make this game better and sort of like kind of a modernized for a current time and this and that regards. But the main concern I'm having is by deconstructing certain aspects of it, if you're going to be aiming it more for like a modern setting and stuff, there are definitely right and wrong ways you can potentially do that. And from the main fear that I could understand from what some fans of the original game is, if you compromise certain maybe characters and have them say things specifically that are not within their character, or you do something that's like deconstructing the overall purpose of how that story played out and why that game was heavily acclaimed back around 2002 or 2003 when it came out on the Xbox originally and stuff,
Sounds all right. Yeah.
yeah, you could simultaneously piss off an entire fan base again, which quintessentially, if you're Disney right now with the Star Wars franchise and stuff, you're picking and choosing what type of content you're going to be going through because you want this game to make money, correct? That's quintessentially
I
why
mean,
they
it's
went
Star
to
Wars.
that deal
They'll
with
they'll
PlayStation.
they'll
Yeah.
hate by it. Sorry to cut you off, but they'll. I mean, Star Wars. They'll fucking. They'll like everybody hates the last Star Wars movie, but I guarantee you the people that the hardest core Star Wars fans probably went and saw it 5 fucking times in theaters, um,
And you
just
bring
to
up a
try to
good point.
convince.
Yes.
So I mean, this game's gonna make money regardless. It's goddamn Star Wars. Uh,
Well, yeah.
yeah, I'm curious how it works out and what they do. I mean, obviously, like I said, I've never played the game. I take it back. I played it for a little bit on Steam a few years back, but I'm playing on Steam, and that's just awful. But I don't have like any personal ties to this game. But like I said, I know the spoiler of the game. Big Bioware fan, mostly because of the first Dragon Age and Mass Effect games. But yeah, I'm gonna go with open mind. That's why I'm curious how they're gonna do it. I'm curious how they're gonna make the gameplay work. Is it gonna be turn based, kind of like the other one was? Is it gonna be uh, more action, kind of like excuse me, we can see with Fallen Order. How's that gonna work out? Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this kind of like how like Capcom has done with the Resident Evil remakes, or how we
Right.
look at Final Fantasy remakes. Where like they're totally changing it up, or even Dead Space. We're like, yeah, it's a remake, but we're also gonna take some liberties with certain things and change some things around. Like that's stuff we're seeing in movies nowadays. Where like you look at like the new Halloween movies, like it only takes the first two movies and it ignores all the other movies.
Yep.
We seen that with other movies, franchises before too, where it's like we're just gonna like, or the Terminator movies did the same thing. We're like we're counting the first two movies, but like 3, 4, and 5 don't count, and this is six. Like, this is the sixth movie, but this is really the third in the franchise. Like I kind of look at like I mean this is how it is. Like we like yeah we tried to like nickel and dime people in the buying these things. We're just gonna like pretend like those things don't even the Disney like or with Star Wars where like Disney bought it. It's like only the movies count and that's it. Everything else does not count anymore. All the books, all the comics don't count.
All depends
So
upon what in what foray though with Star Wars, because there have been consistent, like say, fan things taken into consideration to put in the mainline story
Yeah,
things too.
basically it's like the movies count, and then anything Disney's done with Star Wars since then. That's the only things that count for them.
Right, right.
Um,
But
so
like I was stating though, like the specifics though, Tyler, it's like I'm optimistic in regards to this Knights of the Old Republic remake and stuff. It sounds like from what you were saying like earlier, from when we were talking and stuff, that this game had been like say in development for a bit in that regards.
a couple
I
years, it sounds like, yeah.
I hope nothing but the best for this game because I want fans of this game initially enjoy what they go through and purchase and stuff. I do not. I personally hope that it's nothing in regards to say like re-altering certain characters to fit like certain check boxes and all this other stuff. Quintessentially, bring the game, do the improvements that you need and stuff, but don't mess with what made the original content good and lovable to begin with. That's
I mean,
yeah.
I think you can get away with that. I mean, like look at like I said, look at like what Resident Evil 2 did, especially, and like look at like Final Fantasy 7, where it's like if it's good and they make a lot of changes and it's good, I mean, people are gonna like it. I mean, as
Yes.
long as you do a good job and you can make changes, like, I mean, there's definitely gonna be people like the people that like they're just gonna hate it regardless, but like, or they just want the same game redone today, which I understand. Like, I can respect that, but it's like I don't know, like it's there's a lot of people that like that play most for the most part people that like play Final Fantasy 7 remake that love Final Fantasy 7 the originals. It's like they love this. They love this game. They love it. I mean, it's like I said, as long as it's good. I mean, even they make drastic changes for them, like they keep the main stuff the same, and they make some drastic changes to like other
Right.
things. Like I think as long as it's good in quality, people won't care. I'm just kind of
Yes.
curious about this team. This team has only ever done remakes and ports, so this is a big or not remakes, remasters, and ports. So
Right.
this is a big project for them. But I don't know. We'll have to. I mean, I imagine. I mean, it's been in development for a couple of years now, but I imagine that it's still going to be, um, a couple of years off before we actually see some shit. But like the Project Eve though next, like I'm like okay, this is a platinum game. All right, cool. And then I'm like, well, wait, no, maybe this is a Square Enix game. Wait, maybe this is a Square Enix Platinum game. And I'm like, this is none of those things. It was a very weird long trailer.
It was.
It went on for a long time, but the more it went on, like it was awesome. Like there's that one point where like she's fighting this giant creature, and then like she like breaks his glass, and now she's in space, and then the creature has like eyes, but the eyes have eyes, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But I just like the more it went on, like I'm in. I don't know what this is. This game looks incredible.
It does. The gameplay looked
I
pretty fantastic.
like I said, it gave me very much like, okay, this is like Bayonetta platinum. This is like top
Hmm.
tier platinum. And obviously, I mean, there was what the fuck is that game I played a couple months ago? Gables, that the Capcom game I played on PS5.
Capcom
I
game
got
played on
I got
PS5.
from GameFly. Oh, I'm gonna look it up.
Oh
But I
shit.
was like, I was getting the same kind of not to this level, but I was getting okay. I'm looking. I'm sorry, people. Bear
Hmm.
with me here. God damn it. I don't know why you don't know everything about me, Gables. What the fuck? I'm
It's
going
been
here.
such a while that I forgot about what the game you played from Capcom here. Oh,
Scarlet Nexus.
there you go, Scarlet
Um,
Nexus. There you go.
yeah, so I was getting like, oh man, this game looks great, and then like the game's actually really fun to play, but there's just like, it's just it's like 45 minutes of cutscenes and 15 minutes of gameplay. It was awful. But other than that, the game was fun to play. So as long as it's like just flop those around, that'd be fantastic. That game, I was stunned by that game. The Tiny Tina's thing, I just don't care. First time we're gonna see gameplay.
Yeah.
It looks like Borderlands. I think if you're into Borderlands, it's great. I beat the first Borderlands games. I really enjoyed it. Borderlands 2 was hilarious, but I've tried to like play it like 4 times now, and every time like after a point, I just fall off. Like I like the world. I like the characters. I eventually fall off in these games. But it's definitely one I think it's if you like Borderlands, especially if you like Tiny Tina. I know there's like that those Borderlands fans are split on her. Um, but I think you're gonna love it. Forspoken, I feel like Chronicles of Narnia should just like author of this book should just sue them for just stealing the entire plot of that fucking book and movie.
I thought
Like
the
I
core
just like
concept was pretty fucking cool though, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's the core concept of Chronicles of Narnia. Like they go into a fucking dresser and they go into this new world, and like this is I'm like fuck, this is like that one time I lost a sock in the dryer, and I'm like fuck, I'm in Narnia now. What the fuck happened? I just looked. I was like, this is happens to the best of us. But I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? It was like that. Like so basically, you're like this girl that's in the modern day, and then like something happens, and now boom, she's in this weird mysterious world. I think the game looks awesome
Yes.
visually. This game looks is it's really nice to look at. It's very pretty. I am like in awe every time I look at it, and I just don't know if this game is any good, or if this game is gonna be good, or if it's gonna be like actually
Yeah.
interesting. Because like a lot of barren worlds here, a lot of barren areas here. The gameplay looks kind of cool, but I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. The
Other
real
than
concern
other
of just
than
seeing that trailer, Tyler, it's like the worlds itself, the terrain, and like the content of the story. Because it's like I like the concept of like having this someone being transported and stuff, the Chronicles of Narnia sort of shit and
yeah,
that.
it's a
But
chronic. What cools of Narnia? Sorry.
but yeah, man, it's like I hope that this game's gonna be good because from initially what we've seen, it looks pretty fun. But those are the two
Yeah,
things I'm questioning after watching that last trailer.
yeah. I think it's like the Final Fantasy 15 team
Yeah.
that's making this. So, and also Amy Hennig, the Uncharted creator. She's actually one of the lead writers in this game. So, I
Okay.
mean, it has that going for it at least. But I just the more I look at it, I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Ghostwire Tokyo gameplay. I don't know if this game's it's kind of the same as Forspoken. I don't know if this game's any good. I love Tequila Studio. I keep wanting to say Tequila Sunrise. That is not a thing. That's a drink, not the studio. Tequila Studio, I believe is what it's, Tequila Works Studio. God damn it, I can speak. I loved Evil Within 1 and 2. Um, and this is the same people. I just kind of wish we got Evil Within 3. Maybe I'm a little upset about the fact we're not getting Evil Within 3, so I'm like projecting that anger onto this game. I'm not sure, but I'm a little stunned that like I got a deep gameplay cut. I don't know if this game's gonna be good. Still though, but no release window, no release date. Like the last thing we heard was this was supposed to be a spring 2021 game, and then when Deathloop went from being a PS5 launch game to being delayed to May, they delayed at the same time to October of this year. And then when Deathloop got delayed to September, which is 14th, I think, yeah, Tuesday, um, they just never say anything about Deathloop. So it's never officially been delayed to next year. So that's weird. Um, the Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy stuff, that's cool. I mean, I think the PC stuff's been like it's all the Uncharted games as well. Actually, it's not just 4 are coming to PC as well. But they didn't explain how like the price point's gonna work for this. Like
Right.
for those of us that own Uncharted 4 on PS4, is there like is there the $10 upgrade path? Do I have to buy the game over again? Like I'm curious how like I don't know, like after the big whole hubbub last week where they like totally like shifted gears where like yeah we said we were gonna give you Horizon and all these games for free, but yeah we're not gonna do that now. Oh, you're mad. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do that this time, but then next time you gotta pay us $10. So I wonder how they're gonna do that. Like, are they gonna try to like, well, this like those games are like 5 years old. We're not. This game's this is a 2016 game. Like, are like I don't know. I just don't know how this is gonna work. But I mean, I love Uncharted 4. Like, I'm cool. Like, I mean, I'm totally pumped for like yeah. Like, if it's a $10 upgrade, whatever. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna.
I'd be
It's
up with
just
that.
it's a thing. At least they're like they said like in the future like God of War, Gran Turismo. If you buy it on PS4 and want to upgrade to PS5 later, it's only $10 more. Like at least you're consistent now. We know
Right.
like a path that you're gonna do. I'm just kind of curious if they're gonna do that with these games, but if they do it, that's cool. Like whatever. Maybe like I've been like really like fiending for one of those games again. So I mean, no release date other than 2022. But Insomniac Wolverine, I'm pumped for that. This is actually being made by the Miles Morales team, which is cool.
Interesting.
So I wonder if this is gonna be a smaller game. But I don't know. I trust Insomniac at this point. Like I think it's gonna be a great game.
Oh yeah.
Um, Wolverine is like I'm not like I mean we don't really I mean I'm excited for the idea of the game. Obviously we don't know what the game's gonna be, how big the game's gonna be, and all that. But yeah, I'm it's kind of like whatever they do. I'm just like you have my attention kind of thing. Um, Alan Wake that we talked about like they're leaked last week. Um, Probably gonna be picking this one up day one, and the fact that it's $30, I think it's kind of cool. I think it's interesting, Gables. Two games here that were always Xbox exclusive: KOTOR and Alan Wake coming to PlayStation for the first time ever.
Yep. Absolutely.
Pretty, yeah, pretty crazy. But yeah, October 5th. I think I had that one, even though it was it was leaked beforehand, so it was kind of a cheap pick by me. But anyway, so I did look it up, the GTA 5 thing. So the game was actually delayed from November 9th to March 4th. And that's how they did
Wow.
it. They didn't say, like, yeah, it's being delayed. No, they just, like, yeah, it's March 4th. So that, I guess people are pissed. I was just reading it. So when I looked up, like, at the time the article was written, like, it's like 4-1 dislike, thumbs down to upvote to thumbs ups on YouTube right now for that one trailer. So people are not happy. I mean, um, delays happen, but probably better ways to do it than that.
Absolutely.
Uh,
It's just like an afterthought about it. But
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and it
it's
was like a real. It wasn't like it was like a real fast. Like we're building this whole expectations up. Like here's better worlds, expanded worlds, all this, all that. Cool. It's looking great. Look how pretty this game is. March 4th. Goodbye. Boom. It's like real fast. Like, wait, what? And it was like on to Guardians of the Galaxy. Here we go. It was very weird.
my
Uh,
God.
yeah,
Yeah, that was funny.
I'm still excited for Guardians. I said it at the time. It was both of our, like, I think it was both of our games of the show for E3.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm going into this game like expecting like a best case scenario is like a 7.58 game for this, and I'm
Yes.
still going with that. I've like they've done a lot of like push for this game. Like they're constantly putting up like new videos on YouTube for this, like pushing like these, like they're doing like separate YouTube videos for like Xbox on PlayStation's YouTube channels
Yep.
for each individual character, and I'm like, and like even the music, and I'm just like, I'm not watching this. I don't want. I just You sold me on the first one. I don't want to know anymore. And I saw something like, okay, yeah, I just don't want to know anymore. It's fine. It's kind of like that Deathloop vibe. That vampire blood hunt game, I don't care.
Eh.
Deathloop, we already talked about a lot. I just don't care. For people that are excited about it, I hope it's good. We'll know probably in about 36 hours as of right now, as a current recording time. Monday morning, we'll know where people will land on it. But from the previews, people seem pretty pumped on it. Gran Turismo 7, I've never been a Gran Turismo guy, but I don't know. We'll see how. I think Forza Horizon, when that comes out in November, will be a telltale on like how. Actually, honestly, I feel like Forza Horizon will just be the game I play, because like Forza's coming to Game Pass. It's like Game Pass is awesome, and it's $15 a month, and it's just part of Game Pass. I was like, I'm not gonna pay $70 for Gran Turismo, when it's like
When you
I think
got like Forza Horizon 5 on Game Pass.
yeah, and Forza Horizon just looks like way more fun. So
Oh, those games are fun, man. Open world stuff, racing, collecting a whole bunch of cars and stuff, racing
yeah,
with friends.
oh yeah, I've gotten into the past Gran Turismo or not Forza Horizon games. Yeah, I'm pumped for this. So check 1 to Xbox on that one. Spider-Man 2, that was awesome. I was smiling ear to ear, especially when Venom happened. I did like the whole like arms up thing. I'm like, fuck yes. That was incredible. That was a cool teaser for that. Just it's Insomniac. I'm in. And then finally, Gables, are you ready for me to nerd the fuck out?
No, go ahead.
All right, everybody, kick back because we're gonna have a show here, guys. If we're gonna talk about finally Gables, I've got a lot of pimped up things to say about God of War Ragnarok and this fucking trailer. the Gables, the question is, did I like this trailer? It's how many times did I watch this fucking trailer? And the question is, the answer is more than 10, possibly more than 20 times. I fucking adore this trailer. It was 3 minutes and 17 seconds of pure joy for me. I cannot believe how much content we got. This feels like the final, like, this game's coming in a couple months. This is the last big push for this thing. And this is the first time we've seen this game. We got the teaser thing. The game's coming in 2021. I said at the time, that's bullshit. All I want in 2021 is to see some gameplay. And Gables, we got it in times infinity from that. I cannot believe how much they showed in this game. And it's so funny when you were talking about the things they spoiled, Gables, you still don't have any fucking idea what happened in this game. You are still not spoiled, son. You think you know, you don't know. I'm telling you, Gables, you don't know. Gables, fucking buy the goddamn game. Buy play the goddamn game. I keep telling you to play Haven. You don't listen to me. That's fine. I can live with that. But go play God of War for the love of fucking God. There's a PS5 update. Go fucking play it. God damn it, Gables. That would have been. I would have played the game a third time though if they did like an actual like $10 upgrade thing for PS5. I would have done it if they would. Like they got 4K checkerboard, 60 frames per second. It's fucking fantastic. On PS5, oh god damn. But holy, there's so many things I want to say about this. And it's like so hard because there's so many spoiler things I want to say. But it's my favorite game of all time. God of War 2018 is. And it's like I don't want to spoil that because I want other people to feel that. But like the whole shit with the Loki and like the fact like it's great. Like okay, this game is like I love this game so much that not only have I spent hours, Gables, hours, multiple different times for weeks on end watching YouTube videos, reading wiki pages, not just about like theories about this game, not taking it like talking about the differences in Norse mythology versus this game, but I have now learned a fuck ton about Norse mythology. I could probably go teach a college course about Norse mythology at this point now, Gables. It is that level of nerdiness about how I feel about this fucking game. Like to learn about Loki, who in Norse mythology, his death is what causes Ragnarok.
Yep.
But what the fuck is going on with this whole Loki thing? The fact that Tyr is in this game? What the fuck? Really? Who is the Norse god of war? Like they spent a lot of time talking about him in the first game, but he's presumed dead. And there's been a lot of theories that Kratos, who is the god of war of the Egyptian mythology, that he actually mythology? Is. Did I say Egyptian?
You said Greek. Egyptian.
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. Greek. I'm sorry. Kratos is the Greek mythology god of war. So a lot of people thought that maybe he was the god of he was actually Tyr in this timeline, this Norse mythology essentially, which obviously is not the case now. He's super tall, sexy as fuck. We got to hear Thor. We saw a picture of Thor. He looks awesome. I think he looks great. People are very mad about him on the internet. I don't know why. He looks.
Why, he doesn't look buff or some shit? I don't know.
He's very fat. But he also would kick both of our asses rather quickly, Gables. That's not even funny. And he wouldn't even need Mjolnir to fucking do it. I can't say the word of the hammer. I'm aware of that. But that's what I'm calling it. The fact that you have the Blades of Chaos and the fucking axe, the Leviathan axe, is awesome. I was like, how are they gonna play this off? Like, are they gonna take away the fucking Blades of Chaos? Are they gonna like oh, you gotta start all over again like every other goddamn game does, where it's like, or used to do at least, where it's like you have all the powers right away. Oh, this thing happened. Now you lost all your powers. Now you gotta start all over again. I'm glad they're not doing that. You just start off with all the shit you had. They added a fucking hook shot in this goddamn game. That's fucking awesome. You get to go to all 9 goddamn realms. Where in the first game you can only go to 6, and 2 of them were just goddamn challenge worlds, which were fucking awesome by the way. But 2 of them you can do that. You got Freya, who's fucking pissed off at you. That's fucking awesome. I've been wanting to kill this goddamn bitch for 3 years now. I get to finally goddamn do it after she goddamn threatened me. You son of a bitch. Sorry for calling you a bitch, but Freya, kind of a bitch. If you try to kill me, kind of a bitch. I think that's fair. You got you got a sled. You get to see the lake. You get to see the lake that you spent a lot of time in the first game. It's now frozen. Okay. We're in Fimbulwinter now, which is the 5-year winter that leads into Ragnarok. Okay, awesome. You get to go to Asgard. Holy shit. That's fucking cool. You get to see the goddamn fucking Bifrost, where they can shoot people from Asgard to fight you now. Okay, that's fucking cool. Tyr has both hands. That's a North mythology fucking nerd out for you right there, Gables. What's going on with that? He shouldn't have 2 hands. What's going on? Well, okay, where's the world serpent? That's a big fucking deal. Who blew the goddamn horn, Gables? That's what I want to fucking know. Who blew the fucking horn? Damn, I'm yelling. I don't know why I'm yelling. I am so fucking excited. I have never been this fucking. I'm gonna watch the trailer when we get done with this fucking podcast. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I am so. I can't remember her name. The girl they tease at the end, though, very important character in Norse mythology. Very important character. A lot of things wouldn't happen without her. And I want to talk about it so fucking bad, but I can't. Because it will spoil the goddamn... It will spoil...
the first game.
Yes. Yes, it will. God damn it. It's... Oh, my God. Oh, Gables. Oh boy, I am the happiest I have been watching that trailer. It's like all the world's problems go away. I feel like this is what it's like when people take heroin.
Oh God.
This is what it's like. Is I when I'm at my worst, Gables, I'm just gonna watch this trailer and then I'm like, everything's okay. For 3 minutes and 17 seconds, everything in the world will be okay. I oh my god, I can't believe how much shit they actually like. The fact they bring up Tyr and they show you Tyr. The fact that this is the last one and in Norse mythology, that's
Right.
crazy to me. We're like, I figured, okay, we're gonna fight Thor in this one, and then it'll lead to Odin, who is the he is the Zeus of Norse mythology. I figured he would be the bad guy in three. Like, how is this gonna go? Like they do some major teases at the end of God of War 2018. Then I'm like, okay, like what's the future of this franchise? How is this gonna work out? Um, yeah, man, the fact that Corey Barlog is directing this, they have, I believe it's Eric Williams is his name, which isn't crazy. Like there was a lot of talk, some buzz and some rumors for a while now about that Corey Barlog wasn't directing it because that's kind of a popular thing Santa Monica Studios does, where they don't have the same director for every game. Like there's never been. I think Corey Barlog is the only person to ever direct two God of War games. I think he did two and 2018, but he actually left the studio after two. He actually was like I think the director on Tomb Raider reboot, and then went
Mm-hmm.
back and then directed this game. But so we know Santa Monica is making at least two games, possibly a third game. That's a smaller game. There's been some rumors about that. We know he's making another game, but he's still he helped lay out a lot of like the story of Ragnarok. So yeah, I mean, this feels like God of War 2018 is like Avengers Infinity War to me, and this feels like Endgame. It's like that's the level of
Good
hype I'm at right
comparison.
now. Yeah, we're yeah, we had a lot of setup for that, and like the difference. Like I love the MCU movies, but it's like I always like talk to people about this, like where it's like Infinity War and all the like we had 20 movies of build up, and they fucking nailed it with Infinity War and Endgame. And for me personally, I didn't give a shit about the God of War games for this. I think I beat one way back when, I at least or played through most of it.
I
I
had
never
played
even
through more
bothered
God
after
of
that.
War games than you did at that point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just don't. I just never liked them even back when they first came out. Um, and it's just yeah, it's like that's one. But it's like this feels like we feel like we're in the end game now, Keeples, with this, and it sounds like we are. I was hoping for at least a release window. That's probably like my one like. I wasn't expecting a date, but I was expecting a window, at least like a quarter. But man, I can't wait. Blown away by this. But I mean, I know I took up a lot of time there. I'm sorry, Gables, but I'm curious though, like point by point, what was your thoughts overall on this PS5 press conference?
Okay, so overall for this PS5 showcase, I felt like they nailed exactly what needed to be nailed in regards to their future of the platform in general. We had we were shown a lot of interesting concepts, a lot of interesting like new games that are going to be eventually coming out for the platform. We were shown things that we already knew about, but at the same time, you know, we knew that there were going to be some sort of givens of what was going to be shown, like the Gran Turismo 7 stuff, the Death Loop stuff, even though that one was kind of fucking stupid. But at the same point, we were shown games that obviously made us excited to be owners of the PS5.
Mm,
And obviously for the future, come 2022, 2023, games like Wolverine, games like Spider-Man 2, games like God of War Ragnarok and stuff, I felt that in general that this press conference nailed almost everything. So I think that this is like a 9 out of 10. I mean, solid. And let me tell you something, even before my initial thoughts of I thought the Spider-Man 2 thing kind of excited me the most out of this stuff because the concepts of what that one trailer, it made me think a couple different things. Like did almost the same thing as you did with God of War Ragnarok, where I rewatched this trailer like about 3 to 5 different times and stuff like that because I started noticing little bits and little cues and stuff. The guy that was talking with Venom and that accent and the way he was speaking reminded me of this one long-time Spider-Man villain, Kraven the Hunter.
That's been the rumor. Yeah, it's
Kraven the
Craven.
Hunter is one of the ultimate hunters and stuff like that who goes after prey and stuff, and the prey that he goes after them that he wants to go after the most is Spider-Man. But what's interesting in regards to what was said is Kraven the Hunter is speaking with Venom in that regards. So from that initial thing, I thought because the theme of that trailer was revealing, okay, this is Peter Parker as Spider-Man. Okay, this is Miles Morales as his version of Spider-Man. And then the last one, Venom, that kind of suggests to me that this could be a new playable character as opposed to say like a villain, because with Venom, he's sort of like an anti-hero, right? Because Spider-Man fights him inside the comics and stuff and this sort of storylines. It actually could be like the entire symbiote sort of storyline and say like with Venom and stuff and with Kraven the Hunter and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of possible ways Insomniac could tie this game together and stuff. Now, granted, I have not played through Miles Morales, but at the same time, having completed the original Spider-Man this past year for like the 2016, I think 2016 Spider-Man or whatsoever.
2017. No,
Okay,
2018.
okay, 2018, 2018 Spider-Man. Having completed all that and gone through all that stuff, and then looking at this trailer and seeing potentially what can happen without seeing an actual replay has me excited nonstop because it's like you have the possibilities with Kraven the Hunter potentially just going after like guys like Spider-Man, like Miles Morales, like potentially Venom. You have Venom that could potentially be like one of those, either one of the main antagonists, and then potentially turning like hero, like an anti-hero sort of like esque type of character in that regards. It's like the possibilities have me excited. That was one of the main things. Obviously, Wolverine had me very excited because I have not played a good Wolverine game. There have been underrated ones, like say for the 360 and the PS3.
The
There have
Origins.
what's up?
Was it called Origins? Was it X-Men
Yes,
Origins? That was
X-Men
a really good game.
Origins
I could not believe
Wolverine.
how. I remember. I think I rented that game or GameFly or something. And I was like, man, I was blown away by how good that game was.
Right,
Couldn't believe it. It sounds so easy, but it's kind of like Star Wars game. Like that game should be like incredibly easy to at least make a solid like 7 out of 10 game, and we
yes,
just keep seeing people fuck it up.
man. But I will say it's like that had me incredibly excited because of the details. There actually people have actually been dissecting the trailer that we could potentially see some like cameos and stuff, maybe from like Incredible Hulk, potentially or
Oh,
whatever.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, there was like a little thing in the bar and stuff, and it actually says Hulk or something on it.
Oh,
So it's like one of the pictures hanging up. But yeah, there are all sorts of various Easter eggs and meant like references in this one trailer. But yeah, it's like this showcase nailed on everything that it should have nailed on, and it's made me fairly excited for the future of the PS5. And next year is definitely going to be an insane one for not only
God
PlayStation,
damn.
but for gaming in general, as we're
Yeah.
getting almost any and everything. Like a couple of years worth of backups and stuff from delays, from COVID happening, from everything else, has bombarded itself for where this year is gonna seem like an entire like a freaking dry spell in comparison to 2022.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts of the whole showcase, Tyler?
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 69. Um, yeah, like there's definitely some low points in this, but like, yeah, I came out of it. I was blown away. Like they just, like all three. I feel like all three big press conferences from all three uh, console makers just knocked out of the park this year. Um, not including Xbox's Gamescom thing, but going back to E3 for Nintendo and Xbox, and then this press conference, like they just fucking nailed it. Like the future of gaming is looking really good. Yeah, some of this shit is years off. That's totally fine. It's understandable. Like like Insomniac, we just got 2 games from them in like 6 months, so they gotta reload. I'm
Holy
surprised we
shit.
saw. I really didn't think we'd see anything from them for another year or two. Maybe I was really thinking E3 2023 to actually like really see anything. Like at least like a tease from like this teases we got here was what I was expecting in 2 years from now, kind of
Yeah,
shit. And the fact we got
we're not
now and it's like
expecting all that. No.
obviously Spider-Man 2 like if it's is it coming 2023 who fucking knows, like it could very easily be a 2024 game. It's like God of War like we look at like a lot of games where like Deathloop was supposed to be a console launch game. It's coming out next week. Halo is supposed to be a console launch game. It's coming out in December. Um, who knows? I mean, obviously, game development's hard. Who knows how long this COVID shit's gonna last for? All that, like, just in general, like everything is difficult. So it's like this shit happens, gets delayed, whatever. Who cares if it's like the next? But you look at, especially like next year, looking fantastic. And like, I mean, look at the first quarter of next year is nuts.
Oh
We
yeah.
got Elden Ring, Pokemon, Horizon, Gran Turismo, Saints Row. There's a couple. There is a couple I am forgetting,
And
but
that's the first 3 months of the year.
yeah, there's that Marvel XCOM game that's coming out in March. Like it is insane. There's the Borderlands game coming out in March. It's like that's Forspoken supposed to be a spring game. That could be March, Aprilish. Like who knows what the fuck Nintendo's doing that time next year?
No,
We still
we
have a
don't
clue
know.
from it. There's a rumor we're supposed to have a direct here anytime soon. Now the rumor was they were gonna have it on Thursday, and then PlayStation announced their thing, so it
They
didn't
probably
happen.
knocked it out the week, so we don't
Yeah,
know.
so could be next Thursday. So this time next week we'll be back talking about fucking Nintendo shit and totally forget about all this stuff. I
Hmm.
would have forgotten about God of War. I mean, obviously, of the 69 points, probably 61 of those is because of God of War Ragnarok. So even still, it's an 8 out of 10. 9 out, who knows? I don't even fucking know. It was a fantastic press conference. Like I said, like I had a fucking smile ear to ear pretty much through this whole fucking thing, especially the latter half of it. Like it was just like Wolverine, fucking Spider-Man, God of War. It was just like, man, the last 10, 15 minutes I felt like the first 10 minutes was awesome. The last 15 minutes was awesome. Even the middle, the lull part of it was pretty good still. And then the Deathloop part was the one downside, but it's like, we get why that's there. It's a thing that has to be there, and we get it. But yeah, it's like I said, Gables, the future of gaming is looking really, really good.
Indeed. So that brings us up to our predictions total. So let's go over initially what was said. So the first one here was by you. Your first one is you guessed God of War coming out spring in 2022. Though we did see God of War, we did not get a release date of spring 2022 at the showcase. So that's negative right there. So for me, Blue Point making a Silent Hill game, like, that didn't happen.
Blue
And
Point
quite
was like the
honestly,
one thing missing out of this press conference. Real big thing
absolutely.
missing.
I fully expected they were at least making an appearance, but no, it was Insomniac that did a major thing instead.
Two things.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I was wrong there. But for you, your next guess was Final Fantasy 16, summer 2022. No, that didn't happen. And I remembered saying
That's
after you made that guess and stuff, I would have expected that maybe from Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah, and that's actually you said Blue Point's one major thing that's missing as well because that was supposed to be that was announced to be a 2021 game. It's never been officially delayed.
No.
It's just, but I mean, obviously it's delayed, but they never said it has been. So that's weird.
So my next guess for this showcase was a PlayStation Plus edition, quintessentially another additional tier for PlayStation Plus would be announced. That didn't happen.
No.
So that's a negative for me.
I do want to say real fast though, Gables, that Predator's Hunting Ground is now available on PS Plus this month.
That's true.
Everybody add that to your library. In fact, download it because that game is fucking awesome. It's the Friday the 13th people made a Predator game. Please, for the love of God, play with me. I've been trying to. I got the game for my birthday last year, and I really like playing it, but I have no one to play with me. So please download it so I can have someone to play with.
You want to know what's
I
funny?
want to get some people extra lives in a couple months. I want to play with people.
Okay. You want to know what's funny is that same game had been on clearance and stuff in my local Walmart for like $25, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to pay
You
that.
son of a bitch! You
But
mother. Oh.
and since it's coming out for free, I can actually download it, so I don't have to pay money for it.
Yes. I'm gonna put a thing on Talk Ship. Tell everybody to fucking download it and play with me.
Okay, so for your next prediction, your last one, it was Alan Wake Remastered coming October 5th. And you got that one right. I got my last one wrong for The Last of Us Part 2, so that makes you the winner, and I have to play The Maze.
Gables, I'm gonna tell you right now. I said at the time, I feel bad now. That's a cheap move by me. I'm striking that from the record. We're gonna
Okay.
make it 0-0, Gables. We're both gonna play the maze.
Okay. Hey,
But
that's fair.
you still owe me what was that? Fuck Night Trap?
Night
The Night
Trap.
Trap?
I still owe you
Yeah.
Night Trap for that, and
So
that's fine. I want a discount on the PSN store, so I'm going to go through and buy it when that happens.
Gables, it's like $300 on Amazon. Just buy it.
Oh, that would be pretty fucking funny, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. So at some point we will both, excuse me, be playing. We'll stream us playing through the maze. And Gables will stream himself playing through Night Trap. So
Oh, yes.
sometime this year.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be this year. If not in the next like couple months or something, it's going to be at least before the end of the year, and maybe even during Extra Life, because we have a whole bunch of
No.
stuff to play anyway during that day. So it's like I'm going to attempt to get that day off. I may have to break up a couple of days worth in order to fit the whole like thing, because with my current living situation, especially with my dog and everything else, it's going to be incredibly hard for me to play 24 straight hours this year.
Yeah.
But
I have I think a week off coming up at the end of the month, so I might play the maze then.
okay.
Yeah, I will not play that Extra Life. Like I think I said it last week. Don't play bad games on Extra Life. Play good games, because even when you're even if you're playing your favorite game ever, 18 hours in of playing games, it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you haven't slept.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna be miserable. So just play fun games. Maybe unless you're laughing and having a good time playing it. But playing Resident Evil 6 Gables last year nearly
Oh,
broke me.
yeah,
From
it nearly
gaming.
broke me too, because we did that.
God, just in general from gaming, I nearly just wanted to stop playing games forever. Playing that game on Extra Life. So
All right. So that pretty much leads us into the end of the show for, the end of the episode. So in conclusion, on Twitter, we're Drunk Nerds Pod. On Facebook, Drunk-Nerds. On Twitch, you can reach us at Drunk Nerds Podcast. YouTube, Drunk-Nerds. Wherever pods are cast. So quintessentially, look us up on Apple, on Spotify, on Anchor, on Google, etc. But most importantly of all that, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk-Nerds Podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you. Definitely go forth if you're following us, if you want to follow us and stuff like that. Follow us on Twitch, follow us on YouTube, and all the other stuff like I just previously said, because I'm repeating myself. But most of all, thank you very much for keeping with us for this long a period of time. Always amazes us when we have multiple people wanting to listen to us speak about video games. So have yourself a fun week coming up. Play yourself some fun games. And thank you for listening to our fun-filled episode of the Drunk-Nerds Podcast.
hey Gables.
Yep.
Too sweet, buddy.
Too sweet, man.
Bye, guys.
See ya. Whew. That was pretty